Hello, welcome back guys, it is Maverick here, and today we are starting a brand new series. It is the remake of Shaman King, hooray! Anyways, before we get into everything, hopefully there are some new guys here as well as some familiar faces. So just to give a quick intro to how I typically do my videos, they'll all be divided into 3 different parts. I have a introduction or a preview or sort of like a recap at the very beginning of every single video, my blind reaction in the middle, or not quite blind, more on that later, and then of course at the very end I have what I call my musings section, hence the channel name, Musings of Maverick, where I like to go more in depth into the episode or the series at hand, talk about some of the concepts, talk about some of, what I like, what I don't like, and if it has references to various other different things, right? And they'll all be timestamped below for your enjoyment. Now, with that being said, as I said, there is going to be an attachment here, so this is not entirely blind. I have already watched the original anime for this, back in, holy crap, how long ago was it? Like 15 years ago? 20 years ago? Something of that sort. And then, of course, also the manga as well. I've read it all the way through, and that includes, the actual true ending, which the author later released, so I absolutely already know what's happening here. And by the way, I personally prefer the manga a lot more because it just goes into a lot more topics. I feel like it's much better fleshed out story, and honestly it's a lot more mature than how the anime portrays it, which kind of makes it into a sort of cartoon, right? So typically I don't like to do this, which is going into an anime already having known the source material, at least I mean in terms of making these videos, because I feel like it's not as much of a good experience for you and for me. However, it's Shaman King, so I gotta make an exception for this, because Shaman King is honestly one of my favorite shonens ever. The main character to this, Asakura Yo, is also one of my favorite protagonists ever. All right, like he is who I aspire to be like when I was young. And of course the female lead, Anna, is also like honestly probably my first waifu, if you want to call it like that. Like, sure, Anna definitely doesn't have the sort of sexy bodies, of all the other different waifu materials and whatnot. She's definitely not the kind and caring kind of character, and she's not even a tsundere as well. Like, she is far away from being a tsundere, but even so, she is an absolute beast. She's a strong, independent woman. But anyways, that's kind of like going too far. I'm already kind of getting into spoiler territory here, right? So okay, let me hold on to myself here. But anyways, I love this series. All right, so when the remake was announced, I had to watch it, and I had to do videos on this on my channel as well. So here we are, right? And so yeah, that's how it is going through it. And so let's talk a little bit about the series as a whole, right? And I don't want to spoil anything, so let's not talk about the story and whatnot. Let's talk about some of the differences between the original and the original anime and what it currently is. So when it was announced, they actually brought back a lot of the former voice actors and voice actresses. To me, honestly, the major thing was that they brought back Hayashibara-san, Hayashibara Megumi, who is the voice of the female lead. Like, she is an absolute legend, and honestly, my favorite voice actress ever. Like, she is completely out. She is absolutely legendary. All right, and I am so glad that they managed to get her back for this remake. And she's also doing the opening and ending as well, just like in the original. They also got a lot of the original names as well, Konishi-san and as well as Inuyama-san, right? So I think they tried whenever they could to bring back the original voice actors and voice actresses, with the exception of the main character, Asakura Yo, who I believe his voice actress, because in a lot of shonens the males are voiced by female voice actresses, actually. From my heard, it's that she has already retired, so instead it's going to be Hikasa Yoko who is replacing her, right? And I think that's a pretty good choice. Hikasa Yoko is a very, very talented and quite a legend in her own right, I gotta say. Like, she's a legend of this current generation, I guess you could say. And so yeah, definitely no problems on that front. The studio that's doing this, Bridge, I'm not entirely 100% sold on them, to be honest. But we shall see, right? We shall see. They did Fairy Tail, they did Munano Nana, which I did videos of before, which let's just say that they don't specifically impress me too much with the animation, and that's actually very important for this series. This is a full-out fighting shonen, series, right? We're gonna see a lot of different abilities, a lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool explosions, varying from lots of different genres, right? You got sword battles, you got gunfights, you got, I don't want to go into spoiler theory, but it features stuff from all different kinds of cultures and whatnot. So you got a mix of different things, right? So it's very important that they animate the fight scenes correctly. So hopefully they'll do a good job on this. Honestly, I'm not that familiar with either director or the sound director, so not too much I can say there. Well, actually, no, wait. The sound director, I believe, did Cardcaptor Sakura, right? I think so. I'm not entirely sure. I think I remember that they both did Fairy Tail, right? So if you like, personally haven't watched Fairy Tail, the anime, so we'll see about that, right? But in any case, at the very least, they have Hashibara-san doing the opening and ending, so that is already a plus to me. So, beyond that, what are some expectations going into this, right? As I've mentioned before, I vastly prefer the manga to the original anime, honestly, because I feel like they cut out a lot of the important stuff that was in a manga. So, not to get into the main story or anything, but I think generally speaking, you can divide Shaman King into three very major time periods within the storyline, and as they are doing a, I believe, 52 episode adaptation here, I think they might be trying to adapt the entire thing. And honestly, the middle portion and the latter portion, right, from midway to the end, that is where the true fun lies in, right? So I'm expecting a pretty slow, like, initial few episodes. But I do hope that they manage to adapt a lot more and a lot more important stuff that was originally in the manga. Like, oh my god, they better give me my Osara-san arc, which is talking about the backstory of our power couple within this series. So they better adapt that part. Like, oh my god, if they still leave that out, I will be so pissed, even within a remake. So yeah. Anyways, I don't want to get too detailed into this. I'm already talking like 8 minutes already. This has gone way too long. So at this point, well, let's just get into it. And if I remember to say anything else, let's just go through it down the road, shall we? So without further ado, let's get this started. All right, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. All right, 1985. Oh, starting with Gramps, eh? Hmm. I can't quite remember right now, but I believe they didn't. Oh, yeah, he's a big deal. Nope. Okay, looking at the animation style so far, it seems that they're going uh Asakura how. Yeah. Talk about think of it as like a reincarnation, all right? And by the way, the battle scene that you guys just saw, don't worry, that's not really how this all works. Hey. Oh, we are getting an opening first, eh? Who still remembers? Oversoul, Northern Lights. Alright, how far? So Salvation, eh? Oh, Hashimaru-san composed the lyrics to this one. I mean, Damaru. Hmm. Anna! Ah. Oh, I love Anna. But don't worry about it. She's not gonna show up for, like, maybe. I'm not gonna say. Anyways. Yeah, I feel like, I kind of forgot from the anime, but I feel like I'm trying to recall the manga because again, this is like 10, 15, almost 20 years ago now. This actually doesn't feel like Hikasa-san's voice. It feels to me more like Aoi Yuki's voice. Ah, yeah. I seem to recall like the manga started from here actually. Oh, wait, what? Hmm. All right, all right. Yes, he's a high schooler, by the way. Or no, actually, no, wait. They're mid schoolers, I think. Hi. Yeah, I believe they're mid schoolers. They're mid schoolers. Yeah. All I gotta say is that Yo is a very chill dude. Hey. Yeah, pretty much. And of course, various different cultures have various different ways of utilizing this, right? So don't worry, we're just in Japan right now. Well, hey, dude, you just saw Ghost last night, so it's up to you. Hey, man, Yale knows how to live life. Ah, it's new. So old school. あ、look at all the dust that you're doing. Yeah, by the way, that's kind of like a big point here. Manta actually can see the ghost. Normal people can't. Nantaka nantara. That's one of his catchphrases. You already saw them, dude. Alright, here we go. Notice he said mode there, so. Well, thank you. Oh, you have no idea, Manta. Look at his hair. No, that's just Yo. Oh, by the way, I am using a fan sub right now, and it's actually not even a group sub. It's a personal sub. So thanks, Setsugen, I think.
った俺たちもついに認められたんだぜ。まさかお前が漁師様に刀を献上することになるとはな。俺はお前の腕を超える刀を作ってきただけのことさ。お前も漁師様に使える立派な侍になるんだぜ。ああ、もうあんなひもじい思いをするのはまっぴらだからな。モスケを殺せ。
何を驚いておる。モスケが献上したこの素晴らしき刀。これと同じものがこの世に2本あってはならぬ。せめて友であるお主の手で殺してやるのが情けというものである。
なんなんだそりゃ。せっかくここまで来たってのに。俺はどうしたら。今すぐここから逃げるんだ。そんなことしたらおめえはどうなる。そうだ、一緒に逃げよう。そうすれば。ダメだ。一度使えた殿様を裏切って逃げるということは侍としてできん。かといってお前を殺すなんてできるはずがない。
Right, the samurai way, right?
それが甘んじて受ける。阿弥陀丸。分かったよ。だが一日だけ待ってくれ。今夜は俺に春雨を預けてくれないか。何。もう二度と会えねえかもしれねえ。
Look at how big his hands are.
あの漁師にくれてやった刀をはるかにしのぐ最強の春雨をな。おやおや、こんなところで何してんだ。言っとくがお前の待ち人なら来ないぞ。昨日俺たち。言うな。拙者ここを離れるつもりはない。約束なのでだ。
そしてお前は伝説になった。千人斬りの凄まじい戦いぶりで鬼人と呼ばれた。
だが春雨のない拙者は結局力尽き。
だから私に来た。
これは春雨。
モスケはこいつを渡すまでは死んでも死にきれねえって。
By the way, he just lifted it from the museum.
待ってるって言ったらさ。
嘘だろ。あのバカ野郎。本当に待ってやがるとは。
バカはお前も一緒だろ。さあ早く阿弥陀丸んとこ行こうぜ。
ああ、もう何なんだよお前は。大体どの面下げていくんだよ。春雨はボロのまんまだし、幽霊の俺には触ることさえ
できるさ。
Using him.
お前にオイラの体を貸してやる。なぜならオイラはシャーマンだからな。
なんだこれは。
行くぞ憑依合体。
よし、この町の鍛冶屋に行くぞ。
んで一緒に春雨を打ち直したんだ。
Yeah, they just kind of like took a historical artifact.
思いなんよ大事なのは。
確かにこんな刀を打てるのは奴の他にはいない。
モスケからは一言待たせたなだってさ。
そうか。
そのモスケって人は合わせる顔がないって先にあの世へ行っちゃったよ。
あのバカ600年も待たせやがって。今すぐにでも追いかけてぶん殴ってやりたいところだが、どうやら拙者があの世へ行けるのは。
They already waited for 600 years. They can wait for 100 more.
お供させていただきますようだ。
Ah, that's. Oh wait, this early? This early? Holy shit. Okay. And the ending. Of course. It's Hayashibara singing it as well, so it's she voices the female lead. Oh, this gives me more of like a Vocaloid sort of vibe. Anna. Yeah, I think they like purposely made it into like a Vocaloid song of some sort. Obviously, it's still Hashibara making me singing it, but well, I do wonder like once she reveals herself, are they going to like change it up into like a real like her real voice? I don't know. Anyways, see you guys after this. Well, guys, that was it. The first episode of the remake of Shaman King, 20 years in the making, right? And I just kind of looked that up. I believe it was almost like 20. Well, come to think of it, it was because of the 20th year anniversary that they announced this, right? So it kind of makes sense. It kind of makes sense. But anyways, I went and quickly checked with the pacing, right? So apparently they are going to adapt all 300 chapters of the manga within 52 episodes. So that is 6 chapters per episode, and it really shows, right? Like in this first episode, they obviously rushed through a lot of they actually just went out completely and talked and told us about the overall backstory already, and they also really rushed through the entire Amidamaru introduction, as well as, you know, the fight, the initial contact with Manta, you know, how they eventually started bonding with each other, how Yo and Amidamaru eventually started bonding with each other, all those sort of things. They kind of fast forward through. And I'm a bit conflicted here, right? Because I really love this series, and I want new viewers to also love this series as well. But as it stands right now, it seems that they are sort of like rushing through the early portion. But you know, as someone who already has read the manga, I don't hate it because, as I said at the very beginning of this video, right? Honestly, you could divide Shaman King into like three major arcs, if you will. I hesitate to call it arcs because it's not really an arc, but like collection of arcs, right? Or I guess maybe an easier way to understand it is 3 different seasons. All right, with the third season being the finale, like that kind of thing. And if we divide it into those 3 different parts, the first season, right, the first initial third of or even half of the story is more of the I wouldn't really say it's boring, but it really pales in comparison to the stuff later on, right? When they actually get into like battles and whatnot. So going through this initial part and completely blazing through it, as someone who already has read the manga and already watched the original anime, I don't worry too much about it. In fact, I would love it if they can hurry up and get to the fun part. But I just hope that it doesn't turn off new viewers, right? So that is one thing here. That I do feel like at the very end there with that mysterious dude. I'm not gonna say who he is. Appearing, right, the one with the pointy hair and whatnot, and that dude that looks like a general or something like standing behind him. You know, that definitely came out a lot earlier than I was expecting. I definitely was not expecting him to be introduced right here in the first episode. All right, like that was wow, completely unexpected. Yeah, but like I said, if they are going to try and rush through it, then fine. I do hope though that this time they select better portions of those 300 chapters. They really select the arcs that are really important, that show a lot of character development, and it seems that they are going to focus a lot more actually on the story between Yo and Anna, right? Who still hasn't been formally introduced, but we can see her in the opening, of course, the girl standing beside Yo, and also the one singing the ending. Well, she's saying the opening as well, but the one where we can kind of see her character, her silhouette at the ending part as well. You know, she is very important, and as I said, she is probably my very first waifu, if you want to call it that. I absolutely love her. And I can't wait until we see her once again. Like, I mean, you guys saw me. For old viewers, you know that I don't really get all of that excited or you know all that emotional over things, but seeing Anna on screen during opening, oh my god, and really good, really well animated as well, I might add. um So this first episode, it's just kind of like a general introduction. Manta is, of course, the guy who is kind of clueless. So he's also sort of like our eyes, and I think even back in the original, it was like this as well. Manta is, for all intents and purposes, just a normal person, right? So he's looking at this, encountering these same characters, encountering Yo, encountering all the other stuff, encountering these spirits and whatnot, at the same time as we are, but from a normal person's perspective, right? So in essence, Manta is us, right? He is supposed to be like what the viewer is, and so we can see him explaining a lot of different stuff in regards to what they are actually doing and whatnot. So do expect that more later on as well. Although I think it, as time goes on, it gradually gets less and less as we identify with Yo and the other characters a lot more here, right? And also, by the way, so this was obviously just a first initial incursion into the fighting and the battles. It's not all going to be like this. I don't think without spoiling too much, the fact that they said mode, right? It should tell you, this is only one way to use this and whatnot. So I wouldn't look too much into it. Obviously, we didn't really see that much fighting either. So, well, I think I will reserve judgment still for that part, right? I have to say, overall, from the animation perspective, it really feels a lot like the original anime, right? Like, maybe I feel like the colors are maybe a little bit sharper, but it could also be because I'm watching it on a digital format now, whereas in the past it was more on, your television, right? And analog television as well. So, I'm not sure if maybe that is the difference here, but it really feels almost the same as the original anime. So it's got that going for it. Is it maybe going to be a little bit more mature themed, similar to the manga? Can't really tell at this point, so we'll have to see. I wouldn't say mature theme. Just the feeling and the mannerisms and actions of the characters and whatnot. At this point, can't really tell either, so we'll leave it at that. The opening, we can kind of see the actual fight scenes or battle animations, fight animations and whatnot. It's, I don't know. Honestly, I would say that the original opening was more hype, both in the opening animation and also in the song itself. I love Hayashibara. She's, like I said at the beginning, one of my absolute favorite voice actresses. I do feel like she has lost some of her power in her singing, however. So, and it can't be helped. She is quite of the old guard now. I think she's like, is she 60 now? Or something of that sort. It, if not, then almost. All right, she's pushing 60. I have to say, probably 50, or at least in her like mid 50s or something of that sort, right? So I do feel like the power in her voice is a little bit lower. Like I was expecting her to belt out a lot more, and not so. And maybe that also had some impact on why the ending was instead saying in this manner, instead using a sort of Vocaloid voice, a Vocaloid Anna voice. Like, kind of weird, but hey, we'll have to see. Maybe it'll grow, right? So at this point, I wouldn't say that there's too much I can say about the animation, except for that, it definitely gives off the same vibe as the original, and I do hope that once we get into the actual battle scenes, it will turn out to be very well animated and choreographed, and epic, right? So I think that we have, to look forward to. What else from this episode that I want to talk about? Honest, like, I don't even know if I can really look at this with an objective lens, right? Because I just love this series team. I love the character. I really shouldn't say the characters. I just love Yo and the main character, and Anna, the female lead, right? I love those two so much. So it might kind of skew my perception of the series and overall like color tint them and whatnot. But I think overall, it's solid as of right now. It definitely doesn't wow me in any way. It doesn't wow me from the original. At this point, I would say just it's pretty much on par, right? So if it's on par, but with updated, but they can sort of update the animations and also update on what arcs they are actually going to adapt, I think as a fan, I will already be happy. Now, if I'm looking at this from a purely new fan perspective, like you have absolutely no knowledge, then I can kind of see where problems may lie here, where it's kind of just a teeny little bit rushed, right? And that is unfortunate, but then again, that's kind of the par for the course for most adaptions, right? For most manga adaptions, and sorry, I should say for most adaptions made from manga or light novels, particularly from light novels. They just have to throw away some stuff here. So, well, unfortunate, but it is what it is. Well, let me know what you guys think, right? I'm sure that there are many blind viewers here as well who are watching this blind, who have no contact at all with the original manga or the anime. So let me know if you feel that this first episode was a little bit rushed, or maybe was a little bit too explainy, right? Like talking a little bit too much about, like talking about too much stuff and giving all the background and whatnot, right? So do let me know how you feel. I would say it's maybe a little bit rushed, but as a fan, definitely love it, and I'm just glad to see all of these characters back, right? Seeing the laid back attitude of Yo, he's my. It feels kind of weird to say that he's my spirit animal, but you guys get what I mean here. Like, I aspire to be someone who can be as laid back and carefree as Yo, and heck, he's just a mid schooler, right? But anyways, thank you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I am certainly going to hope I will be enjoying the rest of this series, all 52 episodes of it. But we shall see, right? Potentially, if I don't feel like there's too much I can add to the series, I might just watch it on my own. At this point, though, let's carry on. So, see you guys next time, and bye-bye.